In the last session, we have seen several finder methods, query specific methods, finder methods, query specific methods. Sometimes we may not be able to compose a query by using JPA query language. This is the JPA query language. In the JPA query language, you have to specify entity class name, attribute of the entity, not the table name, not the column name, not the table name, not the column name. This is fully, please observe, it is a JPA. How to supply our own SQL query, the raw SQL query. Please observe. Raw SQL command. We know very well about SQL command. Select first underscore name from the table name. Table name is employee only, where we don't require a E here. Yes. If it is a raw SQL query, you need to specify small change. Try to provide under value, then provide another attribute, native query as true. Please observe last method. Read all first names by age with SQL. It is a raw SQL command. I am providing a column name. It is a table name. So these names are case insensitive in the SQL. You can specify in the uppercase or in the lower case. You can see age. Column name is the first underscore name. You can just check it out in the H2 console. This is the column name. This is the table name. Again, this is also column name. So in place of attribute name, give a column name. In place of entity name, give a table name. You have to specify native query as a true. Let us call this one. Go to the application class. In the application class, I am commenting last two statements. With SQL, supply age as 20. With a raw SQL command, try to run. The raw SQL command. Open a browser and check it out. Please observe column name is a first underscore name. Column name is a first underscore name. The table name is an employee. Names are case insensitive in the SQL. You can specify in any of the case. Even first underscore name, that is column name, case insensitive, you can provide in the lower case or in the upper case. Now, come back to the repository class. I wanted to read two columns. Let me go back to the original JQL query. Select E dot first name, comma, E dot last name. These are the attributes from employee E, where E dot age is greater than 1. Let us consider. So read all first names and last names by age. So here two columns we are reading. If it is a single column, please observe, you can go for list of strings. If it is a single column, we can go for list of strings. As multiple columns are there, you need to specify object array. For every row, two values. For every row, one object array. First name and last name in the object array. If two rows are there, two object arrays. In both object arrays, first name and last name. Why it is considering object array? Here first name is a string type, last name also string type. If at all you are reading age, that is a integer type. No matter what is the data type, we can store a value in the object array. Object array. Inside object array, we can store any type of values. That is why it is taking object array. So let us use this method. Come to the application class. Object array. Object array content we have to print. Go for loop. Arrays dot to string of array content. We cannot print straight away. Array content. In order to print, we have to use arrays dot to string method. We don't require a give to string, just to provide to string. Just run this one. I'm running this. If three records are there, three object arrays are returning. Every record, one object array. For every record, one object array. We didn't stop this one. Let me stop. Let us run. You can see. Let us develop one more method for the same type. Go to the repository. This time I'll read last name and age. E dot last name, comma, E dot age from employee E, without where condition. Let us read. Read all last names. Again, list of object arrays. Now you can understand why object array. Last name is a string type, age is a numeric type. Both we can store in the object array. While reading multiple columns, go for object array. Go for object array. Come to the application class. Read all last names and ages from every record. Let you can see 3 records. Come back to the repository class. Let me go for one more method. In the employee class, address is there. Come on. In the employee class, address. Read all first names, ages, and addresses. So 3 fields we are reading. Object array. Depending on your requirement, you can go for. Come to the application class. Run it. So here we are reading 3 fields. All three fields we are getting into the object array, processing that object array. Remember, processing content from the object array for every record is little difficult. Here we are using a for loop and using arrays.toString to print. Instead of using object array, we can use a separate class like an entity class. Separate class like an entity class. Please observe our entity class. In the entity class, employee ID, first name, last name, age and address. Totally 5 fields are there. If you are using employee class, all 5 fields will be reading. All 5 fields will be reading. Let us develop one method in the repository to return employee. Already we have seen. Select E from employee E without where condition. I'll just go ahead. So here what it is doing. So something like a read all, no where condition. What we are doing for every record employee object. For every record employee object. Totally 3 records are there. 3 employee objects. 3 records are there. 3 employee objects. Entity object. Go to the application class called readAll. So here we are getting list of employee objects. List of employee objects. Every time you will be getting employee. You can print employee straight away without toString method with a getter methods. You can go for getEmp ID. Get first name. Last name, age, address. Get last name, get age, address. The last line I can go for println. Entire record we are reading in the form of an employee object. Try to run. ID, first name, last name, age. So here all the fields. Instead of reading all the columns, if you want to read few columns, you can use object array, but object array usage not very convenient. Please observe, here 5 fields, all 5 fields we are reading. Assume I have a requirement of reading only first name, last name, age. I don't require ID, I don't require address. Assume in some scenarios, you may be having a requirement of reading few selected columns, not all the columns of table. So here all the columns of a table we are reading through entity. Entity class containing every column attribute, every column specific attribute. If you don't want all the columns, if you wanted specific columns, what we have to do? So here DTO comes into the picture. DTO stands for data transfer object. Data transfer object, it can have only selected columns inside your table. Employee class, it's an entity class. It is mapping to the table. Employee attributes are columns in the employee table. If you wanted every column, use employee. If you wanted few selected columns, then define DTO. Define DTO. I'm choosing class name as employee DTO, data transfer object. Based on your requirement, you can specify based on your requirement. You can specify what are the attributes required. I wanted first name. I wanted last name. I wanted age. I don't want object array. That is why defining a separate class, you can treat this as a DTO class. In the DTO class, try to provide all args constructor, all fields constructor. Everybody, right click, go to the source, generate constructor using fields. Generate constructor using fields. I'll show once again. So you can right click at line number 7 or 8. After all attributes, go to source, generate constructor using fields. Generate constructor using fields. Select all. All the fields will be selected. Let me do one more time. Okay, already selected. Click on. There is a constructor which is taking 3 arguments. All 3 are getting initialized to the global attributes. Now define getter methods. Define getter methods to read the data, or you can go for toString method also. I'll go for getter methods. Guys, everybody. Again, right click at line number 13. source, generate getters and setters. We don't require setters. We wanted only getters. Select getters. So why we don't require setters? We provided a constructor. For all three fields, getters. Similarly, if you wanted, you can override toString method as well. Override toString method. You can use getter methods or toString method. I'll go for toString method. Again, right click at line number 22. Go to the source. Generate toString. Everybody, generate toString. By using fields, already fields is selected, click on generate. Automatically Eclipse generated toString method. Let us use employee DTO in place of object array. Employee DTO in place of object array. Go to the repository. I'm just copying one method. What is the current package name? com.lara.dev1. Employee DTO. E dot first name, E dot last name, E dot age. From employee E. It will be returning employee DTO. Read all with the DTO. I'm just choosing a unique method name. Select new com.lara.dev1.employee DTO. Then the constructor which takes first name, last name, age from employee E. Call this function in the application class. This function returning list of DTO objects. For every row, we are specifying like new DTO object. Whenever you are specifying a DTO name, definitely you require even package name also. In which package DTO is developed. For every row, one DTO object. In the DTO class, there is a constructor which takes three arguments. Supplying these three arguments from a row, employee DTO for every row, likewise list of employee DTOs. Come to the application class. Read all with DTO. It is returning employee DTO. Employee DTO. Every record is an employee DTO. In the employee DTO, please observe, no EMP ID, no address. This is one way. If you want to read through toString also, it is possible. Straight away, print the record with ln. We have a getter method and even we have a toString method. Both I am applying. When toString method will execute? Whenever we are printing a reference of the object, toString method will be executing. Try to run. You can see, everybody, through getter methods we are reading data and printing. Then there is a separator. Through toString method we are reading and printing. Whenever we are printing a reference variable, internally it is calling toString method. In most of the places, we will be developing a DTO. Generally, table might have 10 or 15 or 20 columns. For all the requirements, we may not be required to read all the columns. We may required to read some important, some desired columns. In that scenario, develop the DTO, specify which columns you wanted. Specified columns only we can specify in the DTO. In place of DTO, if you are using employee class, that is entity class itself, then reading all the columns. For all the columns means for every column setter method will be executing. One more point here. In case of DTO, straight away data storing in the object through a constructor. Straight away data storing inside object through constructor. Setter methods are not executing. If setter methods are executing, definitely it will take more time. DTOs are more preferable for the fetching operation. DTOs giving more performance. The reason behind injection is happening through a constructor. Injection is not happening through setters. If injection is happening through setters, for every field, one setter method has to execute. But here, all the fields are copying into the object through a constructor. So more performance you will be getting while using DTO rather than entity.